Hey, what's up y'all? How's it going? It's New Blotto, of course. And in this video, I wanted to introduce a new series called 2x2 Reviews. My reasoning for doing this now is just because the way I've been going about my videos in the past, they haven't been quite sustainable for my current lifestyle. You know, I do work full time, trying to go back to school, just spending a lot of time learning how to make videos, and then just going throughout the whole video making process can be taxing at times, you know. So I wanted to do a format that's more organic to me and to what, a lot more of what I would enjoy. I mean, I did enjoy making the full-length album reviews, but it can be hard to try to keep up with the latest thing while I have to, work pretty long hours and such, and then also do some other personal matters. So I think adopting this format will feel a lot more organic to me, and hopefully y'all feel the same after y'all get acquainted with the content that I'm putting out. So for the 2x2 reviews, it's just basically going to be me reviewing albums. It's going to be, not necessarily albums, but just 4 different projects within a video. I'm trying to make the videos between 8 to 10 minutes, and this will be good for me, like I said, because hopefully it'll take less time to make. And then also, you don't got to dedicate 10 to 15 minutes out of your day to watch an album review, which I can understand that's not ideal for a lot of people. And even me, my attention span probably a lot shorter just due to me being on YouTube a lot. So yeah, so hopefully y'all like the format, and yeah, here's the video. Thanks for watching, of course. So in this video, I'm going to be quickly reviewing the projects Butterfly 3000 by King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard, Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish, Black Band Carson by JPEGMAFIA, and Process by Sampha. Butterfly 3000, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I've heard of King Gizzard from The Needle Drop, and he definitely got me hip to a pretty dope band. The gateway into this project for me was their album Nonagon Infinity. That's an album I really enjoyed, which was pretty surprising at the time since I was actively expanding my music taste outside of my normal genre rotation. But after listening to this project, I got to dig a lot deeper into their large-ass discography, and I found several projects that I like from them. On Butterfly 3000, I was hyped to hear the route that they take as they honed in on the psychedelic sound that had made appearances on some of their other projects. Now, getting into the album itself, the opening track Yours does well at setting the tone of the project, and I did like the track overall, but I'd wish it progressed more vocally and sonically into something more. And Shanghai was a better listen, but it didn't go as far as I would have liked sonically. The track Dreams is an okay one for me, but it seemed a bit too similar to the one that was played prior, like the opening track. And also, one thing that kept coming up would have to be the somewhat predictable drum breakdowns. And these seem to be on each of the tracks, and I don't know why it was necessary to do on each one of the tracks, but I thought I'd mention it. And just to see if I was the only one who thought that as well. Not to say that they're bad or anything, but it did seem pretty predictable at times, so just wanted to point that out. Aside from those gripes, it was an enjoyable album for me, and they yet again show their versatility as a band and a group. And some of the big highlights for me would have to be on the tracks Interior People and Catching Smoke. I did feel like if the track list went from Yours, Interior People, and then to Catching Smoke, that would have been a much better way to get the project on some wheels to set the pacing off well. But as I said, I mostly enjoyed this album, so shout out to King Gizzard. Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. Billie has been popping more than ever since she first blew up from her EP Don't Smile At Me, featuring the track Ocean Eyes. And her debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, was definitely among my favorites from 2018, despite her being a mainstream pop artist at the time, and she still is, of course. With the project Happier Than Ever, I refrained from listening to the singles and awaited for the full album to come out. And this album does feel a lot more personal and intimate to herself compared to the last record, where it seemed a lot more playful and with just her and her brother just having fun making music. Not to say that they didn't have fun with this project, but it does have a slightly more serious tone compared to the last. And speaking of Phineas, he snapped on a lot of the production on here yet again. And as for Billie's lyrics, she goes over her growth and rationalizations as she's gotten older and discusses how she's handled certain situations in the past. There's nothing crazy going on here with the lyrics, but she's able to talk about these things in a personal manner, and I think it fits the instrumentals well. And my favorite tracks from this would have to be Goldwing, Overheated, and Your Power. I'm a big fan of the track Overheated. That track takes some components of the prior track, Not My Responsibility, and creates a dark and dope instrumental on the track. And the track Goldwing features some of my favorite vocals from Billie thus far. I do feel like this is Billie's coming of age project, but there's only just a few tracks that feel a bit lackluster for me overall, such as the tracks NDA, Male Fantasy, and Oxytocin. Aside from those tracks, I was pretty impressed with this project as a whole. Would I say I like this more than her last? That's a tough one, but I'd say that they're around the same level in quality, but I'd say I do prefer her last just a bit more due to the increased engagement the album had with me throughout compared to this one. Black Band Carson by JPEGMAFIA. I gotta start this one with shouting out Peggy for becoming my favorite artist at this point in my life. The man has absolutely no business dropping my #1 favorite albums of 2019 and 2021, but he surely did anyways. After All My Heroes Are Cornballs dropped, I was definitely in such awe that I had to go back to his previous catalog. I started with his collaborative tape with Freaky called The Second Amendment, and it had some dope moments with the tracks Bumble Pussy Rascalot, Big Data, and Trust Me Daddy. Then I went to his first available album on streaming services, Black Ben Carson. The vibe given on Black Ben Carson is entirely different to what was given on All My Heroes Are Cornballs and on LP, and more similar to what was given on Veteran. This project is full-on experimental and industrial hip-hop in full form, and there are some subtle moments of R&B influences on the tracks Black Stacey Dash and Motormouth. And some of my favorite tracks on here start with all caps, no spaces. The beat is incredibly glitchy and barren, and Peggy's vocals are glitched out throughout the second verse, and it's just a hard track in general. Some more of my favorites were The 27 Club, You Think You Know Me, I Just Killed the Cop Now I'm Horny, and Try Me. Now to get into some of the issues on the track list, some of the tracks and instrumentals sound too similar at parts, and also some of the vocal performances were lacking energy, especially the features. And that doesn't help with a lot of the tracks sounding pretty similar with spaced out glitch hop type beats on the project. With these elements combined, this project does feel pretty bloated, and it does kind of drag on a bit. And lastly, some of the lyrics come off a bit too edgy at some parts, but that's just Peggy for you at this point in his music career. However, this album sets Peggy up for his crazy 3-album run of Veteran, All My Heroes Are Cornballs, and LP, which is personally some of the best music I've ever heard. Process by Sampha. Sampha has appeared on several high-profile collaborations with past artists such as Drake, Solange, and Kanye, but what got me more aware of this artist initially was on his own single, Plastic 100 Degrees Celsius. On this track, I'm in love with the songwriting and vocal performances Sampha was able to deliver on this track. I've always liked this song in the past, but I didn't dig into the lyrics as much as I should have at the time. Now getting into the album, the first half of this project seems to be going into his fears about his family's health as well as his own, and he discusses the anxieties that he's gained from these experiences and goes on to put it into his music. The piano ballads played by him are a great addition to the album, and he does well with pouring his feelings about these topics into the tracks on this album. The second half of the record gets a lot more introspective with himself and speaks on his own romantic relationship. And I really enjoy the songwriting of some of the neo, soul, and electronic sounding instrumentals on here, and his passionate vocal deliveries. My favorite tracks on there would have to be Under, Reverse Faults, and Plastic 100 Degrees Celsius. And that's going to do it for the first video on the 2x2 review, so let me know what y'all thought about the format that we have going on here. I personally enjoyed this a little bit more than reviewing one album at a time, so if y'all liked it, just let me know in the comments, leave a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to be delivering more of this content pretty soon. So hope y'all have a good one, and peace out.